Let's improve your voiceovers in DaVinci Resolve easily and quickly. To start things off, I want to open up with an example. I have voiceover on audio track 1 with background music playing on audio track 2. I've made no changes to the background music other than reducing its volume. Let's take a listen and see how it sounds. Here's an example of some voiceover inside of DaVinci Resolve. I've got the voiceover on audio track 1 and I've got some background music playing on audio track 2. However, I'm not reducing the frequencies in the background music that tend to overlap with spoken word. Because of this, there's a bit of a clash and it can be at times a little harder to hear certain words and enunciations. We can fix this. And indeed we can. We're gonna have to jump into the Fairlight page for this, but don't be scared. It's actually way easier than it sounds. So let's go over to the Fairlight page on the bottom by clicking the music note. And we know that our background music is on audio track 2, so that's the changes we're going to want to make. We're going to come into the A2 section of our mixer on the right, and if that's not open for you, click the mixer button at the top right of the interface. Then we need to double click on the EQ strip here. All we have to do is apply our reduction. For spoken word, we want to reduce the frequencies in the music that correspond to human voice. That way they don't overlap and make it a little harder to hear things. That for human voice, especially for my voice, is going to be anywhere from about 800 to 2000 hertz. And as you can see, we already have band number 4 roughly in place. We're going to make a few tweaks, but it's pretty close. We can untick any of these other bands because we don't really need them for this by simply clicking on band 2, 3, and 5. If we want to get more nuanced with our edit, we can turn them back on, but for the purposes of this tutorial, this is more than enough. Now, we know that we want our center of our reduction to be about 1500 hertz. So we're going to bump the band over between 1000 and 2000. Let's go ahead and put it right where we want it, and now reduce those frequencies by changing the gain slider here. And your mileage may vary, especially with how loud or quiet you keep your background music, but I find that about -10 on the gain for reducing these frequencies works pretty well. It doesn't have to be exact. It's not an exact science either. It's really just how it sounds to the ear. We know that we want it to reduce from about 800 to 2000, and to change how wide this reduction is, we just need to change the Q factor here. And so I want to bring it in and tighten it up a little bit by sliding it to the right, and say about there. And we can see that the dip ends right about 4500 or so. That's okay. It's background music. It doesn't need all of its frequencies perfectly intact. And that's it. However, if we want to make our lives a little bit easier, we can also create a preset. And to do that, once you've made any and all necessary changes, come up to the top left next to the name up here and click on the plus. It's going to offer to create a new preset, and you just hit create new and then give it a name. I don't need to do this because, as you can see, I already made a vocals roll-off preset that I can click and turn on, and it's more or less what I've shown here. Now, let's go take a listen to our example again and hear just how much of a difference it made. Here's an example of some voiceover inside of DaVinci Resolve. I've got the voiceover on audio track 1 and I've got some background music playing on audio track 2. However, I'm not reducing the frequencies in the background music that tend to overlap with spoken word. Because of this, there's a bit of a clash and it can be at times a little harder to hear certain words and enunciations. We can fix this. And just like that, our frequencies are much nicer in our background music and are way easier to listen to. If you like this tutorial and you found it helpful, please check out more of my DaVinci Resolve tutorials. I'm trying to make more content about things that I think would really help creators make better videos, better audio, better visuals, etc. And if you want to stay more productive and more focused, check out my last video here. Thanks for watching, guys.